This is Janice Wright from the Garrison Public Affairs Office, and this week we are talking about one of the installation's most impactful organizations, the Fort Cavazos Fisher House. All that and more on this week's episode of the Great Big Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. We're here today to talk about a very, very important organization on Fort Cavazos, the Fisher House. And we have a representative from the Fisher House here to tell us all about it. I want you to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Candice Ualesi. I'm the manager here at the Fort Cavazos Army Fisher House. And thank you guys so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to speak about what we do at the Fisher House here.
Tell us a little bit about the organization.
So the Fisher House actually provides temporary lodging for our active duty service members, their families, military veterans, and retirees. And so most people say we're the equivalent to the Ronald McDonald House. There is no charge for the families to stay with us. And so here at Fort Cavazos, we have a 7-room house, so we can take up to 7 families at a time. And so we try to make sure that they're located near the hospitals. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of how the Fisher Houses started, where the families would be able to have access to walk across the street or be accessible to the hospital for their care. So that way they wouldn't have to have the burden of transportation, commuting, and things like that. So again, we just do temporary lodging for families and hope that when they stay with us, their healing process goes well, and then they're able to move on with their medical journey. So
now, is the lodging free of charge?
It is. So there's no cost to the families to stay with us. And we do try to provide all of the luxuries that you would in your own home because we all want to make it as comfortable as possible for these families because they're definitely going through a challenging time. So
can you give us a basic background of how Fisher House came to be and what purpose it serves on the installation?
Yeah, so Zachary Fisher is actually our founder, and he and his wife were visiting the Walter Reed Hospital back in the 80s, early 90s. And so when they were there, they took a tour of the facilities. And so the Chief of Naval Operations wife, they were actually mutual friends. And so she took Zachary and Elizabeth Fisher out to the parking lot to show them something. And what they saw was sailors sleeping in their vehicles all throughout the parking lot. And this was due to the fact that obviously they weren't able to afford lodging.
Right.
Because if you can imagine back in the times, and even now, that whole DC area is, it's a little pricey to stay in lodging. And so here you had service members who weren't able to afford that at the time. And so they were sleeping in their vehicles. And so Zachary Fisher was actually already in construction. He and his brothers were in the construction business. And so being a man of wanting to provide solutions to, challenges and things, he let them know that he could start building these homes, and then he would gift them to the medical treatment facilities. And so, of course, the Secretary of Army was like, oh, go ahead, let's get the check and we'll start building. But he was like, no, this is my this is my expertise. And so that's why he wanted to start building these houses, and he started building them from then on. And the first one opened in Bethesda. And so here we are 96 houses later. And
nice.
So for us here at Fort Cavazos, we've actually been serving the Fort Cavazos community for 25 years this year. And so we were the 24th house to be built. And so, again, 96 houses later and growing, we're on our road to 100.
Nice.
We're still, trying to serve as many military families as we can. So.
Okay, so are there any eligibility requirements in order to utilize the Fisher House?
So every service has their own eligibility requirements. We are the Army Fisher House program, and so for us, it is just a simple one-page referral form. It does have to come from a medical provider, a nurse case manager, or a unit representative. Usually the families have to reside outside of a 50-mile radius. But of course, we can make the exception to that policy. There has been some rewriting of the DOTI where we've been removed from certain eligibility. They do have to actually be seeking medical attention of sorts. So that is the main thing, that they do have to be doing medical appointments. So luckily for us here at Fort Cavazos, we actually sometimes the soldiers will get referred out to Baylor Scott and White or the surrounding communities. So even if they are in the surrounding hospitals, we are able to take care of their families and house them here on post. It just might be a little bit of a commute for the families, but as long as they're receiving medical care.
So even though if they're receiving it outside the installation, they can still reside at Fisher House?
Correct.
And their whole family can reside, or is there a limit? Or?
So for each room that we have, we can take 4 occupants in a room. And so usually, we just get those dynamics right before, from the nurse case managers or whoever may be referring the families over, so that way we can accommodate them the best that we can.
Okay. Now, I have seen the inside of the Fort Cavazos Fisher House, and it's quite, charming and tidy, and it does give the feel of home. How important is that to provide that to the guests that stay there?
So honestly, it's probably everything for the families, just because when you're coming in with a medical challenge of any type, you want to be able to be comfortable, and you want to have a safe haven to be able to lay your head down at night, and just the quaintness of it. Like when everyone comes in, they're strangers, but I guarantee you when they walk out of those doors, everybody becomes family, because they interact, and then they find that they have similar stories. They're going through some of the same challenges and things like that. So of course, for us, we want to try to provide as many necessities as we can for the families. And so honestly, that definitely comes from the community. Because we are a charitable organization, a lot of our donations come in from the community. And when those come in, they go 100% to our families. So simple things from like laundry detergent to paper towels, paper goods, non-perishables, even things like trash bags. I mean, my best recommendation for most people who want to help out for donating items, my thing is, if you can use it in your house, these families can use it in this house, because we do want to provide that home atmosphere, and again, just making it a safe and comfortable space for them.
Absolutely. So for listeners who want to donate things like that to the Fisher House, how would they go about doing that?
So they can contact us directly, or even if they do a donation drive of sorts, they can drop it off directly to the house. We do have Amazon wish list for anyone who prefers online shopping, because sometimes that's more convenient. So, that's something that they can contact us directly at the office, and we can send that information to them. We also have a digital wish list that we can send out to them as well. But otherwise, just coming by and dropping whatever they have off at the house, and then we just make sure that the families can get access to that.
Right. So I thoroughly enjoyed the tour that I received, and it was just like a really, really nice home. It had a really big living room with a big screen TV, nice plush couches, a large table to eat dinner at, a nice big kitchen, and I was also told the kitchen is kind of like the heartbeat of the Fort Cavazos Fisher House.
Absolutely. And the reason why we say that is because that's usually the gathering place for all of the families. That's where everyone goes. That's where everybody communes, and has like before you know it, one family's cooking dinner for the whole house.
Right.
Someone else is taking a turn later in the week. So it's really just this amazing atmosphere where everybody's just so comfortable with each other. And like I said, they become family. And so the kitchen is where it all starts, you know, and then they just gravitate towards the dining area, and then they have this huge family feast. So it's really something special amongst the families when they come. And so again, like, we just want to make sure that we can foster that loving and caring atmosphere for them to be in when they're going through a medical situation.
Okay. So I know that the Fort Cavazos Fisher House is 2 stories. Is that correct?
Correct.
And from what I remember, each family has their own private suite with like an adjoining restroom. Is that correct?
So yes, so we do have two family suites where there are accessible suites that are downstairs, and so they have a bedroom area that connects with the Jack and Jill into a sitting area, and then our 5 bedrooms upstairs are actually the private room with a private restroom. And so of course everything else in the house would be the shared spaces like the living room area, the dining, and then the kitchen. We also provide a very well-stocked laundry facility for them as well. And so again, we just try to provide as much as we can to kind of alleviate their stress and financial burden for sure.
Right. Yeah, and then when you walk in the front door in the foyer, of course, you see the bronze bust of Mr. Fisher and his wife. I was also told that every Fisher house has that.
That is correct.
So what is the meaning behind that?
Well, we want to make sure that everyone understands where the Fisher House began and who our founders were. They were very adamant about, believing in taking care of our greatest national treasure, and that's the service members. And so every Fisher House will be greeted by the Elizabeth and Zachary Fisher bust.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like Fisher House is really, really impactful for those families that need lodging. It's one of those things you almost don't think about because you're so focused on caring for your loved one and making sure that they get the healing process and make sure that they get the medical care that they need. How vital is the service that the Fisher House provides? How vital is that to soldiers and their family members?
Incredibly vital, I believe, just because, when you're dealing with medical procedures and processes, you don't know how long that'll be. And sometimes you may get a time frame of 2 weeks, but when you go in, you start finding other medical issues or, the time frame extends to a longer period of time. And so for families to be able to not have that financial burden of being in a hotel, right. And then even for the Fisher houses, you usually have groups who come in and prepare meals for the families, or they drop off meals. We have a lot of community support that brings in meals and, does things like that for our families. And so you can imagine if you're in a hotel and you don't have a kitchen or anything, right. You're eating
Absolutely.
Having to eat through a window at drive-thrus. And so it just becomes, maybe on that aspect becomes a little unhealthy, right? So it just... There's so many aspects to staying in the Fisher House and why, being in an environment where you can share your medical journey with other families and then, have that support of somebody else going through a similar situation and things like that. And so, like I said, it's just this whole environment that fosters love and care, amongst, strangers initially, but then again, right. Becoming family,
Of course, they're not strangers for
right.
long.
Right.
They're living in close quarters and kind of having to lean on one another for support.
Exactly.
So they form that kind of bond.
Right. Exactly. And so, a lot of people don't know where we're located. And so, we say we're a hidden gem. We really don't want to be the hidden gem.
Right.
We do want to be your gem. We just don't want to be hidden. And so, for a post as large as Fort Cavazos, for us to have 7 rooms, for us, it's bittersweet because if we're full, then that means, of course, obviously people are going through
right.
a tough situation.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, we want you to realize that we're a resource, we're a free resource. And so, any eligible families that need to take use of the Fisher House, we would love to be able to have them come stay with us instead of paying out of pocket. And then, okay. Accumulating those expenses outside of the medical expenses themselves. So.
Okay. And again, so who exactly is eligible to use Fisher House?
So they do have to be either active duty, military retiree, or veteran. They do have to be actively doing medical procedures or medical appointments at the time.
Right.
And then the referral process is just it has to come through the medical provider, nurse case manager, or the unit representative. And so for sure, it's as long as they're doing medical appointments and they're in need of lodging, we want to try to make sure that we take care of the families.
Is there a limit to how long each family can reside?
So typically it's however long that their medical procedures and appointments last. Sometimes they last a little longer, but we do have a limit of 179 days. So,
okay.
Most times that's not the case for families that are staying with us. They don't usually need to have 179 days.
Yeah, that's 6 months, so it's a good long time.
Right. So, but we do have some that have been there for a long length. But of course, again, it's bittersweet, like when they get to go home, because it's sad for us, because we've also become family with the families that come into the house, but also just, a good time to actually release them back to,
Right.
going to their actual home, but, it's always such a pleasure to, host our families and have them stay with us. Because again, like I said, they become families, we
Right.
become families, and so we still get updates even after they've gone. And,
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
So, it's definitely fulfilling at the end of the day to know that, we're helping our service members.
Yeah. It goes far beyond, I think, helping the service members to save money. It goes beyond that. It goes to, really supporting them in a time where they need that, making sure that they still have the comforts of home, even though they're not at home. So it goes beyond.
Yes.
Beyond. So what is the process to be able to utilize the Fisher House?
So again, like mentioned before, it's just we try to keep things very simple for getting into Fisher House. So it's just a 1-page referral form. And so whoever will be referring them, again, the medical provider, nurse case manager, their unit representative would just fill out their information, submit it to us. We usually recommend that if you know ahead of time that you have a surgery coming up and, your family's coming in from out of town, to go ahead and submit it early. So that way we can, because we can't so we don't take reservations. And
Right.
so it's hard for us to forecast exactly how many rooms we'll have and such. And so as long as we have something on file that we can actually see, like, oh, okay, we can kind of try to see how we can accommodate those families. Because even if we are at capacity and we do have the 7 families in-house, we do have a supplemental program for eligible families, and that's the Hotels for Heroes, and that's from our foundation.
Oh, okay. So maybe if you guys have overflow, they can utilize that program.
Correct.
Okay.
And so the Hotels for Heroes program, what they'll do is they'll actually pay for room and tax for their rooms until we get an available room here at the Fort Cavazos house.
All right.
And then we'll just move the families back over to the house once a room becomes available. So.
Okay. Well, I had to ask because a lot of families have, fur babies. Are fur babies allowed at the Fisher House?
So we accept service animals.
Okay.
So I should rephrase that. We take service dogs.
Okay. Service dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. And so that, again, on the referral form, there's just a section there that they would just put in there that they have a service dog coming with them. Yep.
Okay. All right. So how would our listeners find out more information about Fisher House?
Well, they can Google us, obviously. But, my thing is I really encourage for people to actually come and take a tour of our facility.
Yes, they should.
Yeah. So from the outside, it doesn't look like much. But when you come inside, you definitely.
It's pretty nice.
Yes, you definitely are coming into a very comfortable space. And,
yes, I agree.
And my thing is, too, just because we get so much community support, we want to make sure that people see exactly where their donations are going and see how our families are benefiting from the hard work that they put in. And so, again, I just encourage that families come out and tour the facilities, come meet us. And, sometimes it's okay, to meet the families because
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's good to have outsiders, kind of interact with our families and just, volunteer, because we have volunteers that come in, and sometimes it's just an ear or, a shoulder that the families are looking for to kind of share their experience or vent. And, because it gets really challenging, really, really challenging for these families sometimes, and so just be able to listen to them and, kind of offer, some words of wisdom,
words of encouragement.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So for sure, that's, one of the things that I usually try to tell people to come. But otherwise, definitely we are on, we do have a Facebook. Our page is going to be Fort Cavazos Army Fisher House. Cavazos Army are one word, and Fisher House is one word.
Are you guys currently looking for volunteers?
Yeah, so we take volunteers in any time of the year. So we are actually getting busy. The holiday season's coming upon us.
Right.
And so we are starting to get more donations in. And
and I was going to ask about that. In the spirit of the holiday season, you're probably going to get a lot more food donations. Are there specific things that you're looking for?
So a lot of the things that we look for are kind of just basically anything, really. Even if they're just like the microwavable meals. We do have a large sub-zero freezer that we can store those for the families, and then even dry goods like tuna, peanut butter, things like that.
So pretty much anything unopened?
Correct.
Okay.
And then, again, we just store them and we put it out for the families to enjoy. So paper products is actually one of the biggest things for us as well.
Basically anything you would utilize in your own home, you guys need as well.
Exactly.
Okay. So is there a phone number that you can provide for our listeners to call in case they want to take a tour or ask questions?
So my number is 254-338-6521, and that is my cell phone. So I will be able to answer that at any time. Of course, if I don't get a chance to answer it, if you leave me a voicemail, I can definitely get back to you. So, and I definitely want to make sure that we can help, because if I don't get a voicemail, then I won't know how I'd be able to help. But I always want to be able to help our service members and anyone looking for.
You want to give our listeners that number one more time?
Yeah, that's 254-338-6521.
All right, you guys. So if you are in need, or if you know that you're going to be having a medical procedure, or you're going to need lodging in the near future, then it's best to go ahead and contact Fisher House in advance so you can get that squared away.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I was just going to mention that we are doing an open house, a holiday open house on the 8th of December from 11 to 1. We are going to have the Grinch and Santa there. We're going to do photo opportunities, doing some light refreshments and some kids crafts, so hot cocoa bars. So just an opportunity that if you haven't done a tour of the Fisher House, this is your opportunity to come through.
Perfect opportunity.
And then, also get the bonus of seeing the Grinch and Santa and maybe a few snacks, things like that. But for sure, we want to invite everyone over for our holiday open house, because the doors will be open for you guys to see the facility.
Well, let's go ahead and give them the time and date one more time.
Yeah, that's going to be on December 8th from 11 to 1. And it's an opportunity to come and see the Fisher House and learn about our mission. So.
Okay. And it's located right across from Cerdamsi.
It is. Yeah, so I always say right on the corner of Ratton Drive and Santa Fe Avenue, so you can't miss us.
It's like right on the corner. So it's pretty easy to find.
It is, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about the not so hidden gem here on Fort Cavazos, the Fisher House.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Hey everyone, not going to be online for a while. Got a big mission to kill some terrorists in Terra Islamabad tomorrow, so don't worry about me.
An ambush today left 15 soldiers dead outside of Terra Islamabad. Will your next Facebook post or tweet kill you or your friends? The terrorists are waiting for you to give them the information they need to kill Americans and the American dream. When you share sensitive information on social networking sites, you might as well join the terrorists. Don't be a terrorist. Remember OPSEC.
This message brought to you by the Don't Help Terrorists Murder the American Dream Coalition.
So how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. So, hey, everybody, this is Samantha Harms with the Garrison Public Affairs Office. Yeah, my Thanksgiving was awesome. Got to relax, got to hang out. And then I went to Kansas, and on my way home, it started snowing. So,
wow, yeah.
That was really fun.
My folks did tell me that there were flurries, but then they updated that and said they were sticking. So they had a little bit of actual snow.
Yes. Yeah, my dad texted me the next day and said, yeah, good thing you left. We had 3 to 4 inches worth of snow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, that's on par for the Midwest.
Yes,
Kansas City, where I was born and raised. Mm-hmm. You get the hefty bag and you slide down the hill.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. How about you? How was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. I did not cook. I actually went over friends' houses and I spent time with my son.
Nice.
So this was actually the first time that I have ever been invited to Thanksgiving with them. So it was very special.
That's
I will
awesome.
cherish it always. It was nice. Yes.
That's awesome.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I love that. And, I'm thrilled that you were able to talk with Candice from the Army Fisher House. And
yes.
I love talking with her. She is so incredible. And the mission and what they're doing over there is also just as incredible.
Yeah. Fisher House is definitely a gem here on Fort Cavazos and
Yeah.
other installations as well.
Absolutely,
They really,
yeah.
Step in, the gap when it comes to, people needing lodging while
Yeah.
they're trying to, get over a medical procedure and get well and get better. So
Yeah, absolutely.
it's a great service.
It really is. Yeah. I'm glad we were able to have her on. I love having her on every year.
Got a lot of good information about it. Encourage people to take a tour and go over and visit.
And volunteer.
And definitely plan in
Yeah.
advance. You can actually, hit them up in advance to schedule to stay there, when you're going to have a procedure.
Oh, yeah, for those family members and
Yes.
whatnot. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Well, we got lots of great information from Candice, but we also have lots of great information about things that are happening on the installation. It is the holiday season, so
Yes. One of the bigger things that's happening, of course, is the holiday hop.
Yes, of
Yes.
course. Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
we just had it over Thanksgiving weekend.
We did.
And it is coming back for the 2-week break, the block leave, like half day
Yes.
schedules that soldiers have here. So that's December 23rd?
December 23rd through January 7th.
Yes,
So, anyone
right.
with access to the installation can ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. The route will pick up and drop off patrons at designated pickup points across the post. And this is actually like a pilot for the upcoming mass transit rollout for the hop on post. So,
Yeah. That should be coming in the spring of 2024. I'm very excited about that. We've been talking about it a lot in our office, and I just can't wait for it to actually fully roll out.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing.
It's gonna have a lot of good stuff.
Yes. And also with that, we have the competition, the artwork competition.
Yes.
It is from 1 to 15 December. Mm-hmm. We are going to have the email on who to actually email your artwork to. It's on our Facebook page, which is Fort Cavazos Army. If you do the little @ Fort Cavazos
Now, this is
Army.
the competition to have your artwork displayed as a wrap on the hop
Yes,
bus.
it is going to go on part of the buses that will be here on the installation. The theme is Ride the Cavazos Connector. So there's the possibilities are pretty much endless with that. Yeah, I'm excited to see who wins. If you win, first place also gets, I believe it's a 70-inch TV from AFES. And I think second place gets a gift card from AFES.
Either one of those is great.
Yeah,
So
either way.
You heard it here, you guys. If you're artistically inclined,
yes,
you should probably look into entering.
Absolutely.
You see your artwork and your creation riding around the installation.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. Yes. So important things to note with that is you have to be a DoD ID holder. And once you submit your artwork, if it is chosen, it becomes property of the Army.
Yes.
And some modifications, may have to be made sizing wise, that sort of stuff.
If you win, it's ours.
Yeah, pretty much. But all those details and more are going to be on our Facebook page. So definitely go there and look at that post.
Absolutely.
Very exciting.
And the Hop is also still hiring part-time drivers, you guys.
True.
If you have dependents or spouses that are looking for part-time work, the pay, it starts out really well at $18 an hour.
Yeah, $18.
Flexible schedule, and you will only have to drive on post. You won't have to drive outside of the installation.
That is true. And no CDL is required. So none of those commercial driver's licenses.
Absolutely. You just go to takethehop.com to apply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, they're looking for 50 people?
Yes,
roughly?
they're going to be filling around 50 positions to start in February of next year.
It'll be so fun.
It'll be great. We got a lot of good stuff going on, with the holiday season. We've got actually the Williams is it Williamson?
Yep,
Yeah.
Williamson
The
County.
Williamson County Symphony Orchestra is going to be performing Christmas Eve at 7:30 p.m. December 9th at the House Auditorium
That
here
is
on Fort
correct.
Cavazos, yes.
Yeah.
So if you're into orchestra or symphony music, that would be right up your alley.
Yeah, so they're going to do a lot of course, the theme this year, like you said, is Christmas Eve. So they're going to have a lot of Christmas music that they'll be playing, holiday music. This is an annual event that happens here, totally free, obviously super family friendly.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm going to go this year for the first time, which
Really?
I've been to other like orchestras and symphonies and that sort of stuff, but I've never been to this one. For some reason, I always have plans that night.
Now, is the symphony is it the one that has like a conductor and all of the live instruments and right.
Yeah.
Very, very holiday things.
Yes, very holiday to do this. Absolutely. Yeah. So I believe doors open at 6:30.
6:30 p.m. And for more information, you can visit cavazos.armymwr.com.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. So speaking of holidays, we also have Trees for Troops coming up. Yes. So Trees for Troops is a initiative that provides Christmas trees for soldiers, and I covered it last year and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I talked to a young man who had just moved into his house, so for him to have his first Christmas tree in his first new home, he was very moved by that. Yes, he was very happy.
They provide totally free Christmas trees.
Yes, beautiful Christmas trees.
Yeah, they're nice.
And you can actually select the one that you want.
Yes, yeah, from the whole lot, you get to pick the one you want. Yeah.
And what I thought was really sweet is they come with personalized little notes from the growers. Nice. Yes, with wishing season's greetings and things like that. So I thought that was a really nice personal touch.
Yeah, I love that.
So that will be happening December 8th at Phantom Warrior Stadium.
Okay.
So distribution time and categories will be released closer to that event.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the trees are provided on a first come, first served basis with one tree limit per household. Okay. While supplies last. Of course. And again, so for more information about that, you will visit cavazos.armymwr.com.
Right. Or for both of those, the Trees for Troops and the Williamson County Orchestra, I would also recommend following Fort Cavazos MWR, their Facebook page. They will definitely be posting there. And then, of course, we'll be posting about that stuff as well.
That way you can keep up with all of the MWR definitely. Events and activities.
Yeah, especially for Trees for Troops, since they don't have times yet. Unfortunately, that usually comes out like the day before or 2 days before, just because they are waiting on, the actual delivery time. Right. They don't 100% know that until it gets a little closer. So once they know that, then they'll be able to let people know when they can come and pick up a tree.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we also just want to remind everyone again that the Fort Cavazos Family Scholarship Fund is now accepting applications for the 2023-24 scholarship season.
Yes.
Don't want you to miss out on that money.
Yeah, we know that probably most of you who could, your children who could apply, or you spouses out there who could apply, who, enjoyed their Thanksgiving break. Absolutely. Did not work on their essay at all. Just as a reminder.
Don't wait till the last minute. That essay is important, you guys. It's
really
important
is.
For you to really, really put your all into it and take your time with it and put some effort into it. It'll go a long way.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for all the details on what is required when it comes to your application, you can go to their website, which is
FortCavazosScholarship.org/apply.
Yeah, easy. We love it.
Yes.
So this is open to high school seniors and military spouses who are seeking their first degree.
Yes, yes. Deadline is February 16th, 2024. Yes. Now, you guys, that is
it'll be here so fast.
It seems like 3 months is a long time. No, it's the holiday season. That automatically makes things go a lot faster.
That is so true.
So don't wait, you guys. Yeah. It'll be February 16th before you know it.
I know. Yes. Well, really, it's going to be February 15th before you know it. And then you're going to be scrambling.
So actually, what is it? February 15th at 11:59 9 p.m.
No. It's the 16th, but the 15th will show up and you're going to say, oh no, it's due tomorrow.
Don't do that. Don't wait till the 15th and be like, I got to bust out this essay. No.
Yeah. And then you're calling the people you need for recommendations.
You don't want to do that.
Can you write me a recommendation tonight?
If you plan it out and do just a little bit, each, just strategically until leading up to the deadline, you can get it all done and you don't have to feel rushed
stress.
Anxiety. The holidays alone is already anxiety written. You don't need to add to it.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, also the 2023 federal benefits, it's open season now. So this means this is the time for you guys to make any changes you want to your benefits. If you want to add dependents, if you want to drop dependents, any changes you want to make, this would be the time to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's more than just dependents for sure. I mean, that is an important part. Absolutely. But if you want to make a change to your plan, if you want to sign up for dental care, maybe you didn't last year, now's the time to do it. If you want to change who your provider is, as far as you are working through one company, but now you're interested in trying a different company, this is the time of the year to do it.
Okay. So for military, it's visit tricare.mil/open season. Yes. And for federal employees, is it the OPM? Okay, yes. So opm.gov/healthcare-insurance/open-season. Yeah. Kind of lengthy, so I'll say that one more time. So for federal employees, you would go to opm.gov/healthcare-insurance/open-season. Perfect. And you have until December 11th to get that done. Yeah. And I'm reminding myself because there are some changes that I need to make. So it's a good reminder for us all. Yes.
We love when that happens.
Absolutely. So lastly, of course, thanks to all the efforts of the community and family housing residents, there has been a reduction in water consumption. So kudos to everybody for your efforts on that. It is much appreciated. However, Belton Lake continues to remain at 59% capacity. So water conservation is still important for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. That is critical that people continue to save water where they can.
I know that I didn't really, realize how important this is. Like, it really, really did get extremely hot over the summer, and that really did put us at a deficit. You don't really realize it.
Yeah. It goes by so quickly.
Mm-hmm. So we are still in mandatory stage 2 water conservation measures, and they remain in place until further notice. So again, no watering of all types of landscaping between the hours of 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. daily. Report all on-post leaks to DPW by calling 254-287-2113 and off-post leaks to the local city water departments.
Yeah, very important.
Yes. It's getting a little chilly, so I'm not out there watering.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should be out there watering.
Right. Actually, I'm not out there cutting either. I mean, the front yard is kind of stagnant. The backyard, it could use a little love.
A little trimming.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous to go back there. It's a little long, and I'm scared of what I might see. I might have to call one of my loving sons. If you're listening, sons, I might need you to come over and cut your mom's lawn.
I love that.
Shameless plug. But yes, I am so looking forward to the holidays and my birthday.
Ah, we love that. Yes, that is actually a good reminder that the last 2 weeks of this year, we will not be producing a podcast. Aww. So we will be taking a break, but you
guys don't have to miss us too long. We'll be back.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely go back and listen to old episodes if you haven't. This is the time to catch up.
Absolutely. There's a lot to choose from. Yeah. So many impactful topics.
There really are. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, I think that's all we've got for this week.
For you guys. Yeah.
Look at us. We're in sync on this. I love it.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. We appreciate you.
Always.
And we will talk to you guys next week.
Yep. Bye.
This podcast is a U.S. Army Garrison Fort Cavazos and Fort Cavazos Public Affairs production. Have a question or want to share some of your wisdom with us? Drop us an email at fortcavazos@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fort Cavazos Army. And as always, be sure to leave us a review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.